Dad heard the door open and asked where I was going. I told him I was going to work. He said, "No, you're not," and put his hand on my shoulder. I turned around and said, "If you're going to call the cops, let me give you something to call the cops." And I just hit him. You just lied to me.
Right. Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
4, 3, 2, 1, 6 months.
And where are they? Who are they with?
Their mothers.
How many mothers?
3.
All right, that is not Black excellence. The fact that you're here is not Black excellence, unless that's the name of a building.
My question remains, if you were to test today, what's in your system?
I didn't know that I couldn't smoke weed.
I
was on parole. I did 12 months of
Sir?
parole. I did 12 months of parole, and I never got dropped for weed.
The victim in this case was your father?
Yes, sir.
It says you choked him and struck him in the face.
Yes, sir.
And why was it you punched the poor man and choked him? Why did you do that?
Well, at the time I was working at HEB. And
Why did you do that? Not because you were working at HEB. Why did you
he
do that?
started choking me first, and I felt that was the only way to get
For
it.
no particular reason? He just started choking you for no reason.
I was walking outside to smoke a cigarette before my shift, sir. And yeah, pretty much, yes, sir.
And so what did he do?
He asked where I was going. He pinned me against the door, and as I explained to him, in the middle of my sentence, he just started choking me.
What were you saying to him?
I was going outside to smoke a cigarette before I started my morning shift.
That was it?
Yes, sir.
You should have begun that with "once upon a time," because the pre-sentence report, your version that you told the probation office is not the same for what you just told me.
Prosecutor on this case? Court is calling 2021 CR 0835, State of Texas versus Nicholas Cornelius. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar from the state of Texas. And Jackson Lindsay on behalf of Mr. Cornelius, Judge.
Are you Mr. Cornelius?
Yes.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and all right. After reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge, we're waiting to get back.
All right. Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just so the court is aware, Judge.
All right. So everyone, please whisper in the box. We're on the record. Yes.
Thank you, Judge. Briefly, my client had court in the Winston District Court back on May 31st of 2022. That day, he was arrested by the U.S. Marshals for a federal charge of being a person under indictment in possession of firearms.
Okay.
He spent 15 months in custody awaiting that charge. We worked out a deal in federal court for a plea bargain, accepting his ability to appeal that sentence because that particular statute is being challenged in the upper courts right now. 922M. 18 USC 922M. So because he was denied bond, he was in a position where he ultimately pled guilty because he did have the firearms. That explains why we took so long to come back to this court. He's here now, Judge. He's been offered deferred adjudication from the state. He's accepted it pursuant to the court's approval. As part of this federal judgment, after serving 15 months, he was placed on supervised release for 3 years, which I'm asking the court to run that concurrent with this federal case. And that in the event, unlikely event, I believe, he were to be picked up on a violation of probation in this court, that any time served in federal court awaiting disposition of that case be credited towards any time given in that case, in the event he's sentenced.
All right. Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
4, 3, 2, 1, 6 months.
And where are they? Who are they with?
Their mothers.
How many mothers?
3.
All right, that is not Black excellence. But I'm assuming it's not. So you are not showing Black excellence to your ancestors or to your mother, your grandmother, or anyone. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So don't wear Black excellence if you're not showing it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
Pack and moving, Apple moving service.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court will sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with Jose Aguilar. There's to be restitution, if any, to FedEx. Regular reporting. By Zoom or in person. Regular UAs. 200 hours of community service restitution. There's going to be parenting classes. Once he completes parenting classes, that will be deemed to be satisfied. Field visits. 1 time per month for 3 months. And probation. If you all want to check with the federal government and see how their field visits are, you may not have to do any if they're doing them as well. So if you could check with them. There's to be no contact with Aubrey Reed, Aubreyreed, Charlie James Ray Perkins, Amari, Emari, Lafel, Lafel, Freeman, Freeman. There's to be proof of employment within 30 days. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Yes. All right, is there anything else you need from the court to have Black excellence in your life?
I'm out.
Judge, maybe run this concurrent with this federal cause number. I can give you that cause number.
All right, concurrent with what's the number?
SA:22-CR-294.
All right, the court will run it concurrent.
Thank you, Judge.
Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
I'm out.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. From here on out, in this court, whatever you do in your life while you're on probation, you need to ask yourself 2 questions. 1, is what I'm doing something that could potentially result in me being revoked and sentenced to prison for 20 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, and so let's go on the record in the matter of Curtis Carson, 23508.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Hey.
Here on behalf of my client, since the matter being heard via Zoom.
Thank you. Mr. Carson, your name, please.
Curtis Carson.
All right. Today is the date scheduled for a jail review and probation violation. And Mr. Carson is currently on probation for operating while visibly impaired. And Mr. Carson was sentenced July 24th to 45 days jail and probation. And there was a jail review set for October 2nd. And then it's alleged he failed to appear for, he tested positive for alcohol and marijuana on July 25th. And also he failed to appear for testing on August 8th. And so that is where the probation violation is coming in. And because it's up for probation violation hearing today, the jail review was moved forward as he has two pending violations. And so counsel, what's happening today?
Your Honor, I had an opportunity to review my client's rights to a hearing in which he understands that he can come in front of the court and allege that these violations are not accurate. That being said, that won't be necessary. He's prepared to admit responsibility to the violations. I'd ask for an opportunity to allocute on his behalf.
Carson, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear from the testimony you're about to give this man be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. And you heard the allegations for probation from your attorney, correct?
Yes.
And as to the allegations that you tested positive for alcohol and marijuana on July 25th and failed to appear for drug testing August 8th, how do you plead?
I don't understand how I dropped dirty for any alcohol.
Mr. Carson, Mr. Carson, I explained to you that you can go back several days, and that while
I'm still unsure of how that became though.
well, Mr. Carson,
I told you what I understand. I told you what I admitted to, but the drinking I don't understand. I don't know if it's some Listerine or something, because I don't, you know what I mean? Like that's the only thing that I can think of.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set this matter for an in-person hearing. I'll enter plea of not guilty. We'll set this for an in-person hearing on August 29th.
Okay, and I was in the accident. Did he tell you about the accident?
No, we didn't get that far yet.
Okay.
We'll do August 29th. Actually, we'll do 11 a.m. because I'm presuming we're going to have the lab and the testing center present, and so.
that's being said, Judge, and that's fine since I'm still, I'm not the MITC that day, but I'm sure one of the other will handle it if that's the case.
Yes, you're not. Okay. We'll have to have somebody else. Right. We'll adjourn both of these, or I'll adjourn the jail review that day as well, sir. And I'm sorry, counsel, there was an accident?
Yes.
Judge, yeah, this was going to go towards the explanation of some of the allocution, but there's nothing to give in reference to it right now as you're scheduling it for an in-person hearing.
Okay. All right. Sir, if you're tested today, what's in your system?
Honestly, I told my attorney, this is what I mean, not my attorney, what's his name that we're on the Zoom with. I told him that.
What's his name? Excuse me, sir. What's his name is Christopher Shemke, and he is your attorney.
Okay, Mr. Christopher, the attorney. I just explained to him that first of all, I didn't even know that I could do jail or that I was going to jail or probation until the day that I got sentenced. I didn't even know that that jail or probation was possible. Number two,
Hold on, sir. Number one, stop, please. Number one is that you had a retained attorney. Both the
he never had
the
told me
substance
until the day of
excuse
sentencing.
me, please, excuse me. The substance abuse report and screening was emailed to you and your attorney back in June. Then the court initially held this matter June 21st. We adjourned it to July 17th. You failed to appear that day, and we set it for July 24th, as you had contacted, or your attorney had contacted the court.
Yeah, yes.
So, sir, prior to going on the record, you had a conversation with your attorney, Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Yes. So that was based upon the report and recommendation that was mailed out early June.
Yes, which he never said anything to me about jail or probation.
Sir, I will indicate as well that the June 21st date didn't occur. We adjourned it to July 17th, specifically for you to get your affairs in order in the case that this court would sentence you to jail. So don't tell me you were unaware of that, because that was specifically the reason why this court adjourned it to July. And then you failed to appear.
I was running late, and as soon as I got here, I went to that little window because they said that they sent out a bench warrant, and then they cleared it up right then and there. And then when I got back to court on July, that date, he told me while we were sitting out there in that table right outside the court that, okay, they're recommending jail. I said, what? This whole time,
Hold on,
I didn't
Sir, that also occurred in June, because that was a specific reason that I granted your attorney's request to adjourn it to July 17th. So please don't try to tell me that you did not know that until now. So my question still remains.
Get off the panel.
Sir, am I the judge that was presiding over your case that you were on parole for?
Excuse me?
Am I the judge that presided over your case that you're currently on, that you were on parole for, when you're claiming you didn't have any problem smoking weed? Am I that judge?
No, but I just thought that was the law because they changed the law. They took it off the panel.
Sir, alcohol is also legal. And that's also something that you're not allowed to consume when you're on probation. And I was very clear, very clear at your arraignment on April 4th. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs that are not prescribed. Then I said it again on May 2nd, when you were here for your pretrial. Bonding conditions are continued. Again, May 16th, bonding conditions are continued. And I'm certain that I asked you each of those dates what would be detected in your system. And you're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs that are not prescribed. I also, on July 24th, when I sentenced you, for sure indicated that, because that was a condition of your probation, which you received a copy of your written instructions, your written probation conditions. Did you not?
Yeah.
Okay, so don't tell me that you did not know you were not allowed to smoke weed. Don't tell me that.
I mean, misdemeanor. All right.
So when did you use it? Yesterday or today?
I mean, I've been going through a lot. I lost my job. I got 35 stitches in my arm. You know, I'm going through physical therapy.
Sir, yesterday or today? Which day did you use it? Yesterday.
I'm currently using. I'm trying to tell you, I'm currently smoking.
So right now, while you're in court.
No, not like right now. I mean, like I've been smoking because I've been stressed up.
Sir, stressed out, I don't believe is a legitimate medical reason.
How you don't believe? I
Medical
just lost
marijuana.
my job. I lost my job. I'm looking at jail. I just look at my arm. I got 35 stitches in my arm. I had to recover from that. I'm 100 pounds heavier than I was when I got on the truck. So just moving around doing regular work, I gotta go through physical therapy. I'm going through a lot right now. This all just hit the fan.
Sir, you may be going through a lot, but this court's order is its order. And you
I heard
chose
you.
to ignore that.
I did not choose to ignore it. I'm just mentally going through a situation. I was depressed, and I don't know. That's the only way I knew how to handle it.
Sir, being depressed, having a lot going on, going through a lot, that is not a reason to violate this court order and just go ahead and smoke marijuana because you want to do that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
When's the last time you were tested, sir?
That very first time I went to go to report. I haven't been since then because I've been recovering from the accident.
When was your accident?
My accident was actually right before sentencing. I was in the court with a sweatshirt on, if you don't realize, because I was covering up my wounds because I didn't want to look all dramatic in there.
Okay, and sir, what's the nature of your injuries from the accident?
Look, 35 stitches. I got a puncture in my elbow that took forever to recover, that I had to be really careful with because it was almost getting infected. I landed on my left elbow, so my whole collarbone and shoulder area and my rotator cuff is still bruised. Like, okay. I can't do a push-up if I wanted to.
Sir, how does that affect you showing up for testing?
For test? Because I was just, first I had to sit for a long time. For the first 2 weeks, I had to sit down, laying down with my arm above my heart. It was just a dramatic experience. I was on pain medication, and just everything, losing my job, getting injured, facing jail. I just was in the bed. I didn't move. I just didn't move for the first few weeks after that.
Okay, and so that's been a couple of months. So tell me why it is that you need to be excused from testing.
It's been about a month. It's been about a month. It's been probably a solid month.
From your July sentencing, not your first date of sentencing. Okay.
No. Yeah.
So okay, that was a lot. That's okay, I can understand. You had a traumatic experience in a car accident, in your accident.
Yes, in the semi.
Okay, so I'm not hearing why you cannot appear for testing.
I just didn't go because because of the condition I was in. I just didn't go mentally and physically. I just didn't go. I'm telling you the honest truth. It took a while for everything to really just soak in.
And so you're not working?
No, he had a job for me in the warehouse, but now that the trucking thing is going slow, he don't even really need loaders anymore. So I got to find something else to do. But I did pay $400 on the toward the probation.
Okay, and you also paid money for marijuana at some point, right?
No.
It's amazing how many people get their marijuana or any other drugs for free when. Anyway, sir, I'm going to indicate the following. $5,000 personal bond on this matter. You are to participate in testing today.
Okay.
Zero
Test.
excuses as to not going to test.
So go test and then what?
And then you're in person in this courtroom on Tuesday, 1 week from tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Okay.
For an in-person hearing on your jail review and your probation violation.
All right.
Please email them to Ms. Shaw and she'll give you the information regarding your testimony.
Okay.